Hey guys, this week, AwesomeCast 105, it's WWDC. We're going to talk about what's new in the Macbook Pros and salivate over them a little bit probably. Talk about iOS 6 and a little bit more, including shared data plans, and are they freaking worth it? All that and more at this week's AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, it's AwesomeCast 105 from the studios here in Pittsburgh, PA. I am Mike Sorg, and we're ready to talk tech, talk banter, and what? Yeah, something like that. I'll get it right one of these weeks. With us, well, Rob's off saving the world or something, so we're going to keep an eye, see if he hops up on Skype here behind me. In the meantime, we got with us on the couch, as usual, he's fuming already, Chachi.
So angry.
Insert coin to begin.com.
Yes.
You're angry.
We got our Twitter account back.
We did. Or you did.
Yes, so that's good.
Excellent.
Back to you, Sorg.
Back to me. Yes, it is. Also with us is AJ's back.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Dude.
Hi, AJ.
Now, recently relocated to where now?
I'm now in Raleigh, North Carolina. I actually just got back from Charlotte 20 minutes ago. I drive a lot now, so
You're a traveler.
I might pop up in random places.
You're definitely a traveler now. Yes. Yes. And you also, as you were telling us beforehand, you have a new podcast.
I do have a new podcast, and if you guys really want to listen to this, it's at your own risk, really. It's a podcast I'm calling Talking to Myself, where it's literally me and my iPhone, and I just record myself talking for 45 minutes. So if you really want to listen to that, and I don't know why, but if you do, I'll send Sorg the link, and he'll send it out in his newsletter of some kind.
Please do. Please do. All right. And of course, this is the AwesomeCast where we talk tech from, guys that aren't in those areas.
It's
where it's all
awesome.
tech-y. So, representing Pittsburgh's opinion and Raleigh, North Carolina, apparently now. You can check out all of our episodes here at awesomecast.com. You can also drop us an email to contact@awesomecast.com or Twitter @awesomecast. We're on Facebook, of course, so like us there, follow us, circle us on Google+, and you can have the opportunity to jump into the hangout over here like Fuzzwad is dropping in there. Go and wave, Fuzzwad, for the video people.
Dropping deuces.
That way. There
There he is.
You can go hang out over there.
Hi.
Deuces.
Here, we'll go and bring you up here until... Is this you?
No.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it is you.
Oh, not according to the Hangout. Okay, cool. Hi.
The Hangout lies. The Hangout lies.
Yes.
So we are here, to talk what's going on. And actually, Frank here joined us yesterday for the WWDC coverage we did in conjunction with Uncle Crappy, Mike Pound over there at timesonline.com for the Beaver County Times. We embedded the Hangout over there, and it was interesting. Derek Shadow on Twitter joined us as well.
I wish I could have. I was working somewhere, and I had a whole lot of downtime for a couple hours, and I was real mad about it.
It happens. It happens. I figured you'd join us from a hangout in a car somewhere along the line or something.
That is not legal in certain parts of North Carolina.
I don't think that's legal anywhere. So,
no. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Actually, you are not allowed to use your phone regardless of what you're doing.
Oh wow! Because I know.
Yeah, they actually have if you're using your phone in any way, hands-free included, you're ticketed.
Ouch.
Except if you're calling your parents, spouse, kids, or significant other.
Sure.
Which is a huge loophole. This is my mom. I swear. This is my
What
wife.
about GPS, though?
I was texting my mom. What about GPS?
GPS included. You're not allowed to use it.
But just GPS in general.
No.
You're
Not allowed to know where you're going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get right into it. We got some fan interactions here a little bit. Frank actually is the one that emailed these in. Well, since you're here, maybe you can tell us about this. First article I have here, if I can find the right mouse, is Samsung pulls an Apple, tells users how to not hold their Galaxy S3s.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah, I really didn't read into this all that much because it came out 3 minutes before WWDC started.
Mm-hmm.
But it was it just seemed like one of those just awful downfalls and horrendous timing, especially considering the legal battles back and forth between Samsung and Apple. And now it looks like Samsung is losing just in that same almost embarrassing way that Apple was before. And right whenever Apple was announcing their new iOS. So it was pretty much about the worst timing Samsung could have for this to come out.
I will disagree, sir. That is the best possible timing they have to come out with that news. Do you know why? Because no one heard it.
I gotta say,
it's literally like dropping a press release at 5:30 on a Friday.
It is.
No one's going to cover it.
It is. I haven't seen this anywhere in the last 2 days of coverage anywhere.
Right. That's what you do. If you're gonna put out some bad news, put it out right before Apple does something.
Oh, yeah.
No one will be paying attention.
Or firing an entire office right before E3, or during E3, because no one's going to pay attention to that THQ.
Yeah, it was THQ that did that.
San Diego office gone.
And now who's San Diego in charge of?
What?
What was San Diego known for?
It was just general office.
Oh, it wasn't a developer or anything.
No,
okay,
but yeah, gone.
Man, but yeah, this has really kind of slipped under the radar. How big of a problem is this that you've noticed so far there, Frank?
What?
How big of a problem is this for it? Is it as, I don't know, it seemed even like the Apple one seemed like you had to really fight for that issue to happen.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know, because the phone's not out yet.
Oh, that's right.
Not the Nexus.
Oh, I see. I confuse a lot on.
Well, just remember, kids.
There's like a million Android phones.
Don't grip your phone like a vice grip.
Yeah, exactly. You may just like tense individuals. This is an issue with, So, and you had another one here. Shall I read your email? Or do you want to tell us about this? What's going on with 4.04?
Oh, that was just me being overly excited that it finally came out after 6 months of having a Nexus phone without any updates. They decided to update it. So, yeah, there's that. Thanks, Verizon, for holding that up.
Update not found.
What's wrong there, Josh?
Said update not found.
Yeah.
Oral Ford.
Well, I guess we should talk about the big thing yesterday. Of course,
what big thing?
There was some kind of big announcement.
What big thing?
I
have no idea what you're talking about.
I know what you guys are talking about.
Was it another E3?
No. You guys. This actually happened yesterday.
Did Sony do something?
It was big news. It was really big news. It happened on the West Coast.
Huh.
Microsoft had a conference.
Oh.
What? Yeah, there's actually a Microsoft conference going on somewhere on the West Coast right now called Tech Ed. And the funny part for me, being in the whole virtualization cloud game, is Microsoft is taking shots right now at VMware, and it is hilarious.
But,
that's your territory, though.
That's my territory. Chachi, was there another announcement?
I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something important.
Hold on. Let me look at the notes.
Oh, wait, yeah, I'm bringing it up here too.
Oh, that's right.
That thing.
WWDC was yesterday.
Oh,
how could I forget?
Okay, so they, according to Apple's site, because none of us watch WWDC here, right? Right? No,
I didn't.
No. According to Apple, of course, we saw the MacBook Pro with Retina display announced. I know, AJ, you were tweeting about this as it was getting announced here.
I was tweeting about it as it was getting announced. My coworker bought one
right off the bat.
Not the base model kits.
Oh, jeez.
he bought a small car.
Basically, because this thing starts at $21.99.
It starts at $21.99. If you put 16 gigs of RAM and the 768 gig SSD in it, it's $3,500.
Jeez,
which my boss has already told me I'm not allowed to expense. I asked. It's always polite to ask. No, I think the bigger one for me and for a lot more people than the people who have $2,000 to drop on a 15-inch MacBook Pro is the MacBook Air updates and the regular MacBook Pro updates. The Ivy Bridge chips It's the 3rd generation of the Sandy Bridge chips. They are very, very fast, but very low voltage. I have the previous generation in my MacBook, and it is pretty awesome. They now support up to 16 gigs of memory from Apple. They have supported 16 gigs of RAM in them for a while. So I'd love to know if you could get 32 in them if they ever come out with 16 gig DIMMs. The Air now supports up to 8 gigs of RAM. This is very important because you cannot upgrade the RAM on a MacBook Air because it is part of the motherboard.
It's soldered
Many
in.
people don't know. No. It's not even just soldered. It is literally part of it. It is just regular chips on the motherboard.
Now, there's speculation that the new MacBook Pro is going to be same situation.
It likely will be. I would not be surprised if they did a teardown. In fact, I want to say somebody did do a teardown already. A couple people, The Verge and Engadget, got their hands on it. They said the screen, if you've seen an iPad 1 do an iPad 3, that is the level of quality we're talking on the screen. The interesting part, I don't know how many people saw this. There was a post today on Engadget of the quality of Chrome versus Safari on the new MacBook Pro. The text rendering, Apple does it natively in the OS. Chrome doesn't. So Chrome looks like hot crap on the new MacBook Pros.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty bad.
It looks real. It looks like iPhone 3GS to iPhone 4 in terms of quality. Next to each other, screenshot on the same screen at like the highest quality.
Well, of course, it's going to take time. Apple's got a head start because they knew this was coming and have all of their apps prepared. I saw updates for Final Cut already. They talked about updating that. I'm sure it's rolled out already for Aperture, other random things.
Yeah, iPhoto got updated. I just updated a bunch of apps on my Mac today.
So, I mean, they're going to have it. Of course, all their stuff's going to look great. They said it is nice. They said that Photoshop is looking at being updated for Retina. They need to be. Holy crap!
The Final Cut Pro updated for the Retina. The preview window is full 1080p now.
Yeah. They keep showing your whole thing, like all your controls out and everything. And that window is actually they showed a little bit. We showed a little bit here previously if you're on video from what they have here. So, but that's pretty incredible right there.
Yeah, the MacBook Air updates are really, they're good iterative updates. They weren't going to do anything crazy. The form factor is selling like crazy, so they're not going to change that too much. Basically, the MacBook Pro, from what I've been reading in the reviews, is that it's not quite an Air. It's because it's not tapered like the Air is, where it's thicker on one end and very, very, very thin on the palm rest area. The MacBook Pro is actually the same thickness the entire way from screen to palm rest. So it's just like a really thin MacBook Pro. And really how they did that was getting rid of the Ethernet port and getting rid of the FireWire port. So they actually, if you look at the side of your MacBook Pro, Sword, if you look at that, and I think you have a fairly recent one.
I have a 2009, so it's about the same.
Yeah. So if you took the Ethernet port out and you took out the FireWire port and you got down to the thickness of, say, USB and DisplayPort, that's the thickness on the side now. So that's how they were able to shave down all that space and get it down to the thickness of an Air without having to really give up what they are. And I love that they, in their video, they're like, what would we do if we completely reimagine this? What would we do? And they didn't really do much. They just kind of shaved it down.
Well, they do say they're shedding old technologies. They're on the way out the door. There's no FireWire on this. There's no Ethernet, but you can get adapters. They're starting to sell adapters for that now, for both of those.
The Thunderbolt, it's a Thunderbolt to Ethernet and a Thunderbolt to FireWire 800. So FireWire not dead yet, kids.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that the entire media community would kill them for that.
I don't know what else I would use on my cameras. I mean, I don't have like a Red camera or anything like that. I have some Sonys and some Panasonics, like really kind of prosumer stuff. But still, FireWire kind of is the thing.
It is the deal. However, we got to pause. We have to have a moment of silence, everyone.
Oh, shit.
Real quiet. Chachi?
Yeah.
You're ordained on the internet, right?
I am.
Okay. We need to say a quick prayer for the 17-inch MacBook Pro that is no longer with us.
Do we really?
No.
No.
I'm just saying we could probably just, quiet it down a little bit there.
Well, we can do a moment of silence. I don't think a prayer is needed.
All right. Go ahead. And we're done.
Yeah, there we go.
So, yeah, the 17-inch MacBook Pro is no longer with us. It was sad to see it go, mostly because now everybody's going to want to make 15-inch laptop bags. Yay! I finally don't have to buy a 17-inch laptop bag. Is really what that comes down to.
Yeah, I guess it always seemed like it was too much because I was asked if I wanted a 17-inch when I got this one back in 09. And it was like, I don't think I want to carry that thing around. It's a little much for me. If it's pretty much your desktop replacement, go for it. But,
Also,
yeah,
that's actually what I was looking at whenever I got my MacBook Air. It was based on my finances at the time, whether I got the 13-inch MacBook Air or the 17-inch MacBook Pro. Obviously, they weren't as good as I had hoped, and I ended up with the Air. But shortly after I got this, I picked up my sister's 17-inch MacBook Air, or MacBook Pro, and yeah, it's just, that thing would be just cumbersome to carry around.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm glad I ended up going with this, just because it is powerful enough to be a desktop replacement, but portable is not its strong suit.
No, it is. It's a 7-pound laptop.
Oh, jeez.
It is, for Apple, still like 7 pounds, not terrible. My old ThinkPad was 7 pounds, and that was a new Core i7 laptop. My MacBook Pro is 4.6. By Apple standards, that's where you're looking, and 7 is not on that radar. But very, very quietly yesterday, Apple updated the Mac Pros too.
Which,
don't tell anyone.
Like internally, though, the chips got overhauled a little bit, right? But they're still
the cheese grater.
They're still the cheese grater. They're still, they didn't get updated that much.
They did put the Xeon E3 chips in them, which are the Sandy Bridge base chips. They are 6 gigs of RAM, terabyte hard drive. Seriously, just go buy an iMac, everyone. Just don't waste your money. Go buy an iMac.
Well,
you
somebody
get a much
needs
nicer
this.
screen, which is a screen.
Somebody needs this for something this much.
If you're gonna go buy it, listen. Just from me to you. E3 chips are not expensive. Just saying that. A Sandy Bridge chip and a Xeon E3 chip are the same price on Newegg. I've priced this out because I'm looking for them. The motherboards are a bit more expensive. The big one that
Oh. Did we lose AJ there?
Well, he's reveling in no sound. Just real quick, we'll have another moment of silence for the update yesterday to the Mac Pro.
Mm-hmm.
That is no longer with us.
What?
Apple took down the new banner from the Mac Pro on their website, and all that it is now is just a minor spec bump. Nothing that they're saying is an update or anything now.
But yeah, the big pricing difference and the reason it's $2,500 is that it uses air checking memory, and that's very, very, very expensive. So
yeah. Exactly. And this is something, like I said, the video house I used to work for had 2007s that really had a lot of life in them. They were still using it when I left a year ago. If anything, they needed more RAM. You buy one of these, you're going to be using it for 5 years probably. So, that's for video houses, I understand. But this has got to be such a low margin for them at this point when they're pushing out Mac Pros MacBook Pros and iMacs. So...
Well, I'm thinking that the people who are buying Mac Pros are buying not the base model. They're buying the 2 core with the 12 gigs of memory, which is $3,800.
They're not getting this is just enough versions of it, unless they're really looking at I just realized we still have the other AJ up here, so. I'm trying to restart that computer there in case Rob comes in. But
the other thing is that they kept the server, so you can still get OS 10 line server. It is in a Mac Pro. If you're a Mac shop, just go buy a Mac Mini server. It is way cheaper. by a good $2,000.
Yeah, but somebody needs something specialized like that, I'm sure. But I can't think.
The thing that I can see that being used for is people who use SolidWorks, Autodesk Inventor, and ANSYS. Because all three of those are extremely processor heavy. Doesn't matter what you throw at them, it's just going to suck down all the power. And pretty much whatever you give to it, it's going to use. So it's going to make full use of all of those cores.
Or maybe
if you're running like... What?
Maybe like high-end After Effects, work graphics, Final Cut, if you're doing something really, really intense. Like I said, video houses will be doing something like that. And that'll be about it, you know.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of editing's been tossed over to iMacs. In a lot of, at least smaller houses, they're not springing for the Mac Pros, because they're really on the level. And
I mean, you can get a quad-core i5, which is perfectly fine in the 21-inch or the 20. I mean, the 21-inch quad-core i5 is $1,500. Don't really need that. The only thing that you would do for a video house, if I were a video editor type person, I would go with the 27-inch. That's $1,700. That's not the worst, and you get a 27-inch monitor to boot. So I think Apple's not killing off the Mac Pro specifically for the big video houses, the big audio houses too. I'm sure there's a lot of audio engineer people who've been waiting on those Mac Pros.
Yes, there are. They still don't come with Thunderbolt though, and that's the big thing they're missing. But I don't think so, because that was the big complaint, was that these things need updated. They need to have Thunderbolt, because the video houses are the ones that are buying those expensive, high-end Thunderbolt devices.
They don't even have USB 3.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But I wonder, since they are supporting it, I'm sure there's an add-in card you can deal with.
Oh yeah, there's cards that you can get. You can get a USB 3. And that's the other thing, is the big thing that came out of this that's for nerdy people like me who build Hackintoshes, is that because the laptops now support it, Apple will now build USB 3 support into the OS, which means that I can add in a USB 3 card and get all of the benefits without having to, you know, subvert myself to terrible drivers from the internet, which is always a bad thing, kids.
And which, you know, and that's, you know, still there's no USB 3 on any desktop solution at this point, because the iMacs haven't been updated.
No, I see the there's been multiple analyst people who have been saying that they're going to update the minis and the iMacs soon.
Probably soon. I know the Mac Minis came out July last year, so they'll probably be on the same.
I'm guessing that you'll see a Mac Mini or an iMac bump. They're not going to change anything with the design, so they're probably going to bump them to the Ivy Bridge chips, bump them to USB 3, and maybe some additional memory, then call it a day.
Exactly.
The Mac Minis are the Mac Minis are the PowerBooks. You're welcome, everyone, for that historical reference. The Mac Minis are the MacBooks, just in desktop form. They use laptop chips, laptop memory. They use laptop fans. They're basically a power or a MacBook that's been just chopped up into a square.
Which isn't bad, you know.
It's not bad. The MacBooks are great. It's just when you think about that, comparing the Mac Mini to the iMac is running a real desktop chip, real desktop chipsets. Those things are different, and they have different levels of all sorts of nerdy things that I don't want to bore the people of this podcast with.
Well, let's move on. Of course, the update we can touch on real quick. Mountain Lion is a new OS X. It's only going to be $20 in July. So
yeah, I'm buying that.
That makes that a no-brainer. You know,
I'm hoping that with the full release of Mountain Lion that they fix the hugest problem of all with messages. For those of you who don't know, Messages allows you to send iMessages to iPhones, iPads, and it all works together. And I just lost my video, so that's cool.
You're back.
Oh, okay, came back. I just watched my camera turn off. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, the iMessages doesn't sync. So if someone sends me a message, I get a notification on all of those devices. And then I can start replying to them. But when I do reply to them, it stops sending the messages to all of the other ones.
So it's not syncing the whole way around.
it doesn't sync the whole way around. So Apple keeps talking about, well, I could be replying on my Mac, and then I can just pick up my phone and leave and go and keep talking.
Which you don't have.
That's not how that works right now.
No.
So I'm
and now
hoping
it's a beta, of course, that we've been using, at least
Yes.
on the desktop side.
Yes. And
So hopefully
they
with the
pulled the link to that today.
They did.
Yeah, so you can't get it anymore.
Probably a reason for that. So $20, easy update. It's going to have, if you have, and this is interesting, the new power nap feature that will actually update your computer while it's sleeping. Only applies to the MacBook Air and the new MacBook Pro with Retina Air-like device. So I'm presuming because they're like solid state based. Excuse me. Solid state based. So there's no spin up on the hard drives. So that's my guess, at least.
I would say that, but I know that an Apple laptop can run with the screen closed.
Yeah.
If you run it with an external display, it runs just like a desktop. It's just a really big Mac Mini.
Yeah.
I think that they're doing it because it is because of the solid state, more for the battery savings than it is for spinning up the hard drive.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean that's a bigger suck on the hard drive or on the battery if it has to spin something physical up like that. So really big push on solid state drives through all the. Because I think even the regular Mac Pros now come with solid states, right?
No, they still come with a regular physical hard drive. Okay, you can get it.
It's an option. I know it's an option, and that's supposed to be tremendous. If you're, I know, Alex Lindsay, one guy I follow, he's talking about streaming 4 streams into one laptop. That's pretty intense.
I'm actually looking at solid state options for my work laptop, more so that I can run my Windows VM that I have to run for various pieces of software, but keep that running on the side and save all the speed for the main OS where I really live. So
then the big thing, of course, that we're all waiting for, iOS 6 was announced. Lots of new features to this. Over 200 new features, guys.
This is where they start to throw in like new features and they call them things, but no one uses them.
Exactly. Now let's start with the updates to Siri. I think you were commenting on it as well. You can get sports scores. You can get Rotten Tomatoes movies. What else could you get? They have Yelp in there now. Yep. So they're adding lots of services.
They also threw in there because it's tied into Maps, and we'll kind of get to this. We'll kind of jump into there real quick. Apple partnered with OpenTable too, so if you say Siri, find me a restaurant nearby, and it'll pull up the restaurants. If you find one, and it uses OpenTable, you can make a reservation through there.
Nice. And now, how widely used is OpenTable at this point? Because I know there's been other services.
It's fairly used.
It's getting
fairly well used.
Because I know there was a few of them. Because we talked to No Wait here locally, and I know there's a few others out there. So, hey, you can literally have Siri now book you a table.
The only other thing that I'll point out from the Siri portion of yesterday's announcement, and this only really matters for people in and from Pittsburgh, is that the Pirates were in first place on the presentation. This is absolutely true. Go to the Verge's photo stream that they were doing, and they're like, and Scott Forstall goes, "Can you show me the National League standings?" And Siri pulls them up, and right there, boom, Pirates first place. Just so you guys know. But yeah, they're kind of letting Siri grow up. Yeah. The big thing that I think they missed, and I think they're still working on getting it to do other things, is there's still no API for developers to get into Siri.
They see, and you can also launch apps with it now, which is going to be handy. I've kind of wished I could do that for a while. They're also doing an eyes-free mode, which is going to interface with multiple cars. It's going to be an option. It's going to be in cars here. They listed a good amount of dealerships, or I'm sorry, car manufacturers. No Ford, I noticed.
Surprise.
Because they've
got this little thing called Sync, and they're not giving that boat up.
We got people developing apps for it. They're building it in the Pandora. So why would
Pandora? I'm just going to say this. Pandora, how do I want to make this really nice without making Pandora sound like a woman of the night? She's a woman of the night.
She's my woman of the night, AJ.
Pandora.
I live on Pandora. I know you're a Spotify guy, but Pandora's just enough woman for me.
Pandora is the woman of the night because it's with everyone.
Oh, I see. I see.
I've never seen anything that's like, we don't support Pandora.
Yeah.
Everybody supports Pandora.
But they're supposed to be cheap and easy, Pandora.
Cheap and easy.
From Davatech in there.
That's their tagline.
The whore that doesn't work like the commercials? What?
He was referring to Siri.
Oh, I see.
Siri doesn't work like the commercials.
John Malkovich. Facebook gets integrated, much like we already have with Twitter. Okay, why not? Everybody's there anyways, right?
I'm not.
No? Well, generally. The general population. You're outside.
There's 500 million users on Facebook. There are 7.1 billion people on Earth. That's not the general population. That is a sizable percentage. And it's not even 10%.
Okay. But still, it makes sense, especially outside Twitter and everything. So... yeah, because, Facebook needed the bump in activity on there. This I thought was interesting. Did you see what they did with your call reception now?
Oh, I love that. And I wanted it real bad yesterday.
Yes. You have your accept and decline, and then you also have the options to reply with a message or remind me later. And I guess it will text them back, like pre-made, like, I'll call you later, I'm on my way, what's up, or you can do a custom thing.
Here's the big one. This is for me, and this is for me alone, because I have a very special use case for this. Now, where I work I work for a consulting company, and my outside line that is in my email signature is a 1-800 number, which goes directly to my phone. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that I think it is 1 digit off from a collections agency in Canada. Because I get phone calls from Canada all the time. My company doesn't go to Canada. My company is North Carolina. So I'll get random calls from Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Montreal. I got a random one from LA. But all I want to do is just play back a message that just says, you have reached the number you didn't want to call. This is not who you think it is. I am not a company. Please try calling your number again. I only get called once. They never call back.
Can't you do something like that with Google Voice? Well, I guess you'd have to integrate that number with Google Voice. I have to.
That's not with my Google. Well, technically it is with Google Voice, but not with Google Voice.
I see.
Yeah, it's just really annoying for me, and I really wish I could just hit a button and just go, reply with message. This isn't who you meant to call. Try that number again, kids.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that Apple is really trying to milk everything out of all these random places. Mm-hmm. Like the phone. Who ever thought that there was more to the phone app? Answer. Don't answer. That's all everybody's ever really wanted. So now I can answer with a message like, hey, I'm in a meeting.
We've updated the way you answer your phone.
Coming soon to a phone near you. Text the person back who accidentally called you.
Hi, did you butt dial me? No. What? Okay.
What? Yeah. But they're getting like random things. VIP alerts.
Yeah.
And mail. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Except if you want to use it for something that BlackBerry's had for years and you've been looking for a replacement for it and yet still have to jailbreak you to use it.
Yeah. Photo stream's been updated. Mail's been updated, like you said.
Hey, pull to refresh in mail.
What?
Pull to refresh in mail.
There has been one of those in there?
Yeah, they added one of those in there. So now instead of that little refresh button in the bottom corner, you just pull to refresh.
I've replaced it with the Gmail app ages ago. To be honest,
I still have. Well, I have an Exchange box and my Gmail, so I just have it all going into mail.
Yeah,
and it annoys me to no end that I can't just pull down to refresh,
especially everywhere else.
Yeah,
Passbook was an interesting feature that they added. This is a new app. Let's see, and it's a bit hard to explain saying 148 apps here. So basically, this is where you're going to store your gift cards, plane tickets, train tickets, Fandango tickets, and it's in a nice little book thing in the app. You pull it out and you get a little QR code. Some speculation: this is going to be NFC in the next phone. And where it lives.
The other thing with Passbook, those aren't just like Apple's created QR codes. That's actually the created QR code from whichever vendor is providing that. I really like the idea of Passbook. I just hope that it works in certain places. I know that Delta, because I saw United in there. I don't know if Delta was in there. They, for some reason, didn't support the scanning of barcodes on your phone at Pittsburgh International. They do at Raleigh, but they don't here or in Pittsburgh. I forgot where I lived for a second there. That is a really cool idea, and there have been other apps that have done it. I would like to see them, if you could use, and I don't know if this is the case, and I think that developers have to develop their own card, which kind of stinks. But it would be cool, and I know that there are other apps that do this. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I've tried them before, where you could scan certain codes, say your Giant Eagle Advantage card, or your Harris Teeter Vic card, which is the Advantage card of where I live. That sort of thing would be really cool. If you could scan it and it would create the barcode on the screen, and then using some sort of back-end database say, oh, you're using a Giant Eagle card, and it puts like the Giant Eagle Advantage card logo thing there. And then you could use your phone and not have to bring that with you. That would be cool. But I think it's going to take some time for vendors to pick up on this and go, okay, we want to make sure that our stuff is in Apple Passbook. So if you buy a gift card, you can just scan it. You're going to
see big stuff like Starbucks, of course, Amtrak. It looks like a softball. I'm sorry, softball, baseball. What the hell? I'm getting excited for that Yins team game. You know, it's an interesting step.
The other cool thing about the Passbook, specifically with airline tickets and train tickets, the cards are live. So the if your gate number changes, it updates on the card.
Handy. And
also sends you a notification or a reminder. So like the case in point here was the United ticket. It reminds you before your flight that you need to get to your flight.
Nice. Nice.
And just reminds you that you have a flight coming up.
So, you know, nominal updates here. FaceTime now over cellular, which is going to kill a lot of plans for people if they start using that thing. But we've already had that with Skype and everything. So it's nice to see, especially since the phones are on everything. You know, you've been tweeting a lot. What's on Boost, Cricket, you know, Virgin.
Boost, Cricket, Virgin, not T-Mobile. That's it. That's really what it comes down to, everyone.
So at this point, they're not beholden to anybody like they might have been AT&T with features. So now they're saying, well, that's not our problem anymore. You have to figure out.
Yeah, Apple has now given up on caring.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're going to push this out, and if you can't handle it, you can't handle it.
They're too big.
By the way, AT&T doesn't give a damn about being able to support that or not. They just don't. Because they're just going to let you eat your data plan alive. By the way, 4 gigs used this month. I still have 10 days left to go on my billing cycle.
Oh my God. Yeah,
that's called being in the car all the time.
I cleared, yeah, it is. And I cleared 3 last month with 7 days to go. Got my little warning notification from AT&T on my grandfather plan. So, you know.
Verizon does the same thing too, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my MiFi gets them. So my MiFi beeps, and I have a little screen on my MiFi, and it goes, you have a new notification. And I picked it up, and I was like, oh, I've used 50% of my thing. And last night when we were all watching, we were all in the Hangout last night, and I picked it up again, and it said, you've used 75%. I was like, oh, I really need to go, huh? Click. So I have like 25% of my data plan left on my MiFi after like an hour and a half.
That's nice. Mine doesn't even have a screen. I wish I could set up. I just gotta be some way I can set up text. I don't know. It's been such a mystery since we've been on Verizon for the MiFi. Let's see. We got some.
I would like to see Apple, and I know this would maybe come in version 7. Yeah, probably version 7 then, because they put in this VIP alert thing. Tie that in with starred mailboxes in Gmail.
That'd be nice.
I could
That'd
see
be
that.
nice.
As soon as I saw VIP alerts, I was like, oh, look, start emails in Gmail. Ta-da. They put it in there. Just, I don't know.
Sorry, I was bringing up hopefully the next thing here. So nominal updates, nothing really earth-shattering, I don't think.
No, I've tried to update my phone to iOS 6 today, and Apple's UDID stuff is real hating on me. So
I'm very sad that my iPad isn't going to get this, as we were.
Yeah,
talking
RIP
beforehand.
the iPad 1.
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, and it's such a shame because I mean, they're putting it on the 3GS, which I believe came out before the iPad, right?
It did, but remember, Apple's still selling those.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't sell the iPad 1 no more. Mm-hmm.
So if I don't buy the thing that Apple decides to stick around, I'm screwed.
Pretty much.
Wow. That's
I think the big thing here is you got to remember when iOS 5 came out, the 3GS didn't get certain features.
exactly.
It was able to update, but it didn't get certain features. The same thing happened with the 3G when 4 came out.
Yes.
4
Like they didn't get
was
multitasking.
the first one with backgrounds.
Yeah, backgrounds. Well, backgrounds.
Not
and,
background
and,
app.
And
The first one with backgrounds.
Yes.
Like actual graphic backgrounds.
Yes.
I think that was 3. Maybe it was 4. But whichever one it was, the previous model didn't have the ability to do it. Because I remember getting a message from my friend. He was like, I can't put a background on my phone. I thought I was able to put a background on my phone.
Yeah.
And he was real mad about it. So, yeah, those are the sorts of things that this isn't new. But things like the new map updates, certain features of that will not be on the iPhone 4 and the 3GS. Specifically, that sweet flyover function.
And I don't think turn by turn is going to be on all of them.
Or turn by turn.
So like that,
Flyover and turn by turn will not be on the 3GS or the 4.
So it's for us only, or new iPad. I believe.
Yes.
So
it's maybe iPad 2 gets it because they share. No. They do have the 3 does have a better graphics chip.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, the maps are vector based. These are all super nerdy terms, which means that they are not a picture. So your average Google map that's tile loading. If you ever watch Google Maps load on like a really slow connection, you'll notice like a bunch of squares kind of pop on screen as it loads. That means it's actually downloading an image. Mm-hmm. It's a very high resolution image that as you zoom in, they then refine it. It's Frank, help me out here because I know you know what I'm talking about. Not vector based. It is raster based.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh.
I know what you're talking about when you see
they're bitmaps. They're
They're bits.
yeah.
They're pictures. In this case, when they're vector based, it's actually being drawn by math.
Yes.
It says that certain points are here, and here, and then draws a line between them. That's how vector-based maps work. It's way faster and does all of the loading on the phone. All your phone is actually getting is the math.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they have new topography, new maps. They've built-in turn-by-turn navigation, so Android users have one less thing to lord over iPhone users.
But they've been able to get this the whole time.
Yeah, there have been plenty of other apps, Garmin, TomTom. Whenever they actually came out with like real... Whenever they put the compass in the
and that was the interesting thing I saw,
and
I actually might have this in the notes here, that it's actually being run on TomTom.
Yep. And OpenStreetMap.
Yeah, Apple is using TomTom and and OpenStreetMap, of course, for the maps. So
now, this whole thing has been coming for a very long time.
Yeah.
Do you remember the whole, what was it? The last big controversy that Apple had? What was it?
iPhoto.
The location one. Where they were tracking your location?
Yes.
Remember that? You could pull your back up and there was the app that you could see where you had been.
Yeah.
They came out during that period of time and said that the main reason they were doing that was to build a traffic service. At that time, they came out and said it.
Yes.
In this case, and then when they came out with the new maps, traffic service was announced. It's only been that long, and it's been that long in the making. They've been working on this for that long, just so you know.
And they've been working on this a while because they wanted to get out from Google a long time ago. So.
Yeah, because I think they haven't been able to get the same map updates. They've been getting map data, which is fine and all well and dandy. But Google's been throwing a lot of features into Google Maps that they haven't been able to put into the...
This is the other thing, and I wonder, because I think, Frank, I was talking with you the other day, and I mentioned about routes when they showed off routes on the new maps. And we've been able to do it on iOS for a while, and you guys don't have an option of routes.
Actually, I did play around with that then after the presser. I did find it's not something where... Whenever you put in an address, it automatically picks what it thinks is the best. But it does give you an option to go through and look at 3 and then touch the map or select the title at the top, depending on which one you want. So Android does have that.
It's definitely been presented differently, even though it's Google serving the maps. So I wonder if it's more Apple. I don't know if did Apple develop the app for the iPhone just using Google.
Well, I think from an app standpoint, I think they were just getting map updates.
Yeah.
But Google has actually had the the 3 route thing for a while now on the desktop version of Maps. You could always go in and type in an address and send, and it'll bring back 3 routes, and you can select them and all that other good stuff, which helps me tremendously when you travel and you don't want to use certain roads.
Yes, and I'm curious to see how this runs because I use Waze, which also has a kind of crowdsourced traffic going on. But anyway. Yeah,
the other thing that I think is interesting is that they put Siri integration in. So you can say, Siri, I need directions to some address. And hopefully it gets the address right. I can't imagine it doing so hot with certain roads down here in the South with a Southern accent. Because there are certain roads that don't look like they're pronounced the way that they look, and certain towns that aren't pronounced the way that they are pronounced. So that'll be fun. I did like the faster route available.
Yeah.
So it picks up on the fact that there is traffic on the route and says, hey, we're going to move you. There's a faster route. Do you want to reroute? And you can hit reroute and it'll go around that traffic. That's kind of cool.
All right, I want to touch base on at least 1 or 2 things that aren't Apple related directly, at least. Before we go, we have a few minutes left. I don't think we mentioned this yet here on the show. Verizon's Share Everything plan. You've been looking at this, AJ.
Yeah, I've been looking at this mostly because I've been looking at Verizon a little bit. Mostly, I know the iPhone 5 is coming at some point this year, and it'll likely have LTE in it, and I would really like that. So my wife and I share a plan, and with AT&T, we both have the old school iPhone, the original unlimited plan. And my only concern with going to Verizon is that I would get stuck into a classic or into the new data plan where I would get like 2 gigs of data. That don't work for me, like at all, in any way, shape, or form. So I would need to get another like additional data every single month to make that work. So when Verizon announced this morning, and that's just going through it this morning, I saw that they've been mentioning this and hinting at this for a while, and they finally announced it this morning. And they did the exact wrong thing, which was price it way, way too high. So you get unlimited talk. Who cares? I'm sure that there are a ton of people who use a ton of voice minutes, and that's great. I have, for the first time in years, I have touched like my max on minutes, and I still have 6,000 rollover minutes with AT&T, so I'm not worried about my minutes. But they give you unlimited talk so that you can have shareable data, which doesn't make sense. It's $40 a smartphone. So my wife and I, that's $80. Plus my MiFi, which is another 20. So that's 100. And then I get to add data to it. and I would likely get the 10 gig plan, which is $100 a month. So I would be at like $200 a month for my cell phone plan for 3 devices.
I mean, I'm looking at, you know, $30 a month for AT&T, and we have 2 at 15 for like, I think 250 megabytes. Just because they're out in the sticks, they're not going to be using that much. They're on Wi-Fi, and that still doesn't work out for me. That's
yeah. I was not terribly happy with this. I think if they were to do this and they really wanted to drive users into it, you do smartphones you do everything at 20. Every line, no matter what it is $20.
Yeah.
So smartphones, feature phones 10. Leave them at 10 because that's the big one that like parents buy their kids like you need a phone so I can get in contact with you.
Yeah.
$10 done. Do $10 for feature phones, $20 for smartphones, tablets, and MiFis. And then now you're competitive. Now you have 20 and 20 for me, or that's 3 devices at 20 apiece. That's 60. And then I would add on 100. Now I'm at 160. Now you've got my interest. Now I'm willing to completely break my contract with AT&T.
Exactly.
I'm only going to save so much money by going with Verizon.
And they
I would save a lot more, and I'd be far more interested.
So I can put how many smartphones, how many basic phones I have. Oh, let's see, I have 2 tablets, but technically I don't really have them online. Oh, I got a MiFi. How many minutes do we use? I think we only have 750. That doesn't matter, you're going to give me unlimited anyways. I have Twitter coming in, so let's put 5,000. Let's see, we got 3 gigabytes, megabytes, 5 to 10. And yeah, $330, I'll be set.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
That's $50 more than I'm paying for 5 phones.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people who hold out on this. But this, kids, is the new norm for family plans. Yeah. You're going to get stuck with this. So if you have a new plan, that's what you're getting. Exactly.
And I don't know. And it makes sense. You know, one reason I don't mind paying so much for the plans we have is we live on our phones. We don't have a landline because there's no reason to have a landline at this point. You know, we both have phones on us all the time, and we have them out to our parents to make sure they have phones when they travel to visit us or wherever else. So you know, I don't know. AT&T is also supposedly rumored to have a share plan coming up anytime.
And they're going to price it the exact same way. It's probably because they know that Verizon's going to do it too.
Exactly.
Can we end on a good note?
Sure, Charles.
Yeah.
What we got?
Also, because I haven't really said much this episode.
No. Bobby says that you're unimpressed.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Apple. I'm indifferent. I don't really hate them anymore.
You're using it anyways.
Yeah, I don't really hate them anymore, but all these updates don't really affect me.
Yeah.
So the Oatmeal is doing a charity fundraiser right now, in case you hadn't noticed. A website known as Funny Junk was illegally reposting everything that he drew and posted on his website.
Yep.
And he wrote
and has been doing it for a long time, too.
They've been doing it for years. And he wrote a blog post about it. Well, the owners of Funny Junk threatened him with a $20,000 lawsuit in damages because of this blog post.
Oh, wow.
So he decided that he was going to do a charity fundraiser. He talked to his lawyer, and they tried working it out that way. What he decided to do, and he responded with another post on his website. It says, "No, I've got a better idea. 1, I'm going to try to raise $20,000 in donations. 2, I'm going to take a photo of the raised money. 3, I'm going to mail you that photo along with this drawing of your mom seducing a Kodiak bear. 4, I'm going to take the money and donate 1/2 to the National Wildlife Federation and the other half to the American Cancer Society. It's called Operation Bear Love Good, Cancer Bad." In the first 64 minutes, he hit his $20,000 mark. And right now, it's up to over $100,000 in donations. To the point where the attorney for Funny Junk is contacting the website that he's using for the fundraiser to have them take it down because it's not an appropriate use of the website service.
That is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is getting sued because something. It's like he's getting sued because someone stole something from him, and that person is mad.
Yeah.
Like that's like robbing a bank and being mad that somebody called you a robber. Like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's not real. That's not a thing you do. No, literally, you are stealing content that is copyrighted. You don't get to sue anyone for defamation of character.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
You defamed your own character at that point, right?
Right.
People know that you do this.
Yeah.
People know this. And in the source code, by the way, behind all, or I think it's on the source code of all of the pages, he's been drawing like pterodactyls and stuff. It's hilarious, by the way, if you ever read the source code of an Oatmeal page.
Yeah, if you don't read the Oatmeal.com, then you really should read the Oatmeal.com. And chances are, you've already read it and you just don't know.
There's the pterodactyl.
Yeah. But he even put up...
I'm a mother effing pterodactyl here to tarot you a new asshole.
Yes.
Pterodactyl.me.
But he even went as far as to re-edit the letter that he received from Funny Junk.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, it says, Dear Mr. Ant-Man, I represent Funny Junk, a competitor of the Oatmeal. I write to demand immediate removal of false statements about Funny Junk from the Oatmeal, where you posted the following. Here's how FunnyJunk.com's business operates. 1. Gather funny pictures from around the internet. 2. Post them on FunnyJunk.com. 3. Slather them in advertising. 4. If someone claims copyright infringement, throw your hands up in the air and exclaim, "It was our users who uploaded your photos. We had nothing to do with it. We're innocent." 5. Cash 6-figure advertising checks from other artists stealing material. And then it goes on.
So, can I bring up this? AJ dropped it in the chat room, and you posted this over on Insert Coin to begin, so if we can cross over. What if the portal gun
was real? This video is awesome.
It is awesome, and it is a 100% accurate depiction of what would actually happen if the portal gun was real and jackasses got their hands on it. I'm not kidding. It is.
It's an incredibly well done video.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
The special effects in it are amazing for it being that short little fan made video.
Somebody's having fun with the. Wow. This shot of the kind of looks like it's the CG version of the gun first person. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's over. If you're on the audio, of course, go over to insertcointobegin.com. That's over there. So
also,
yes,
Disney, you're doing it right, buddy.
What are they doing?
You guys are doing it right. In November, they have a movie coming out called Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited for this movie.
Oh, is this that 8-bit one?
Starring John C. Reilly as a video game bad guy who decides he doesn't want to be a video game bad guy anymore.
It's the best idea I've heard in a very, very long time.
So, Wreck-It Ralph is the antagonist from a video game called Fix-It Felix, which is pretty much like Donkey Kong with a handyman.
Yep.
Wreck-It Ralph destroys part of a building. Felix climbs the building, avoiding bricks and ducks, collecting pies, and fixing all the broken windows and stuff. And you just keep climbing the building.
And at one point, he's like, you do the same job over and over again for 30 years, and you finally just decide you've had enough.
Yeah.
And it's literally, like, I'm trying to, think of the... It's like it's an allegory for real life, and it's just kind of interesting. I was the whole idea of the movie is awesome. Plus, you get a bunch of like random video game bad guys in the trailer.
Yes.
The circle where they're all just sitting around saying about how they're sick of being bad guys. You have Bowser beside a zombie, behind Ralph, beside everyone else. That's just
Zangief.
Pac-Man Ghost is in there.
Oh wow! So they've actually reached out for this one.
Yeah, no, it is a circle. It is a support meeting for video game bad guys.
Is it in this this preview here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now remember, kids, this isn't Pixar.
No, this is Disney.
This is Disney, not Pixar.
This is a
Pixar's
Disney...
got Brave coming out. This is in Pixar style. If you didn't put anything on that movie, if you didn't put Disney or anything else, you couldn't pay me money to tell me that it was not a Pixar movie.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing looking.
Oh wow!
So wait for it. There it is.
Whoa.
So.
M. Bison's in the movie. Dr. Robotnik's in the movie. Zangief from Street Fighter.
Zangief, bad guy. But Disney's doing it right. Because not only do they have an awesome trailer introduced...
Is that Kano?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kano. I didn't realize that before.
Not only do they have an awesome trailer introduced by John C. Reilly, who is an amazing actor. I don't care what you say. That man could do anything.
He's actually done Broadway.
Yeah.
And it's worked out real well for him.
He starred in Chicago.
Wow.
A musical.
The movie version of it, or on Broadway, you mean?
Well, he did the movie version, but he's also been on Broadway.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then you see him in movies with Will Ferrell.
Cubert.
Doing... Oh, yeah. He doesn't speak Cubert.
The hero speaks Cubert.
Yeah, the hero of the movie is really bad in Cubert. Cubertese. Nice. Anyhow, Disney.go.com/Wreck-It Ralph released Fix-It Felix Jr. the game.
Nice.
So they actually released the game that goes with the movie, and it's actually quite funny.
Jane Lynch is in this. That's amazing.
Yes, Jane Lynch is in the movie. They got a number of people who are very good. By the way, check out this lighting. They got a number of people who are very good actors, but they also have a really good story to work with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Sarah Silverman is in the movie as well. And they part of the movie has Wreck-It Ralph going through a bunch of games, trying to be a good guy in all of these games.
Yeah,
I forget what they are.
The only one I remember that looks familiar is a Halo type game.
Yes,
he goes into a space battle game and that's where Jane Lynch comes in because she plays the commanding officer.
Wow.
Candyland Go-Kart was in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, John's calling for a Candyland Go-Kart game.
So yeah, it's an amazing movie with a well done marketing campaign.
And where can they find out more?
They've done a really good job of actually getting a good original story to tell. Mm-hmm. And most of the time you get an animated movie and they don't have a good story to tell, or they find one good one and they make a million sequels.
Yeah.
They found a really good plot to work with, and then they got really good people to work it. So I would be stunned if this movie wasn't awesome.
All right. You guys can check that out at insertcointobegin.com, and Sorga's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, AJ, hey, you got that podcast going on. What's your blog again?
My blog, virtualpotholes.com. There's no more WordPress, just .com.
You're all officialized.
I got all officialized.
At
AJ Kuftic on Twitter. I talk about nerdy things. You could have followed me during the Worldwide Developer Conference where I was geeking out real hard about it. Follow my travels through there as well. I try to throw random things out there on my account. Just kind of follow me around North Carolina.
Of course.
So
Chachi's at Chachi Says at Chachi Says on Twitter. So go follow him there. Insert Coin TV on Twitter. Yep. We are at AwesomeCast.com. Contact us at contact@awesomecast.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast. You can also check us out on iTunes, Roku, Blip TV, and YouTube. I got a Roku working, and I got to see what you guys see, because half of you are watching us on there, so now I get to see how that turns out, which means I'll probably improve the quality of the show. And also, we're recording live every Tuesday right here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at live.sorgatronmedia.com. You can join us in the chat room. If you're circling us on Google+, you have the opportunity to jump in there like Frank did tonight. And there you go. Thanks a lot, guys. You have been an awesome chat room tonight. You've been an awesome audience. Have an awesome week.
I asked Bob. He said it was. He said the furthest hot dog toss was a solid 40 yards.
I honestly did not hear about this.
By the way, the best way to throw a hot dog, break it in half.
I did a lot of traveling.
Can you do that?
I blame that.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Yeah, the breaking in half was legal. Because people would take the hot dog, like, long ways, and they would just, like, squish it up, like, try to get it into as much of a ball shape as possible, and it would just break as they threw it.